As I mentioned these cards earlier, I thought I'd do a quick review and walkthrough for people because I think they could be so easily overlooked, but they're actually pretty amazing. Especially for people who are learning Lenormand and who love fairy tales. So I'll do this, I've got to crawl around the tripod here, but so this is the box they come in. It's quite big. What can I do size wise? Okay, so here's this is my Visual Lenormand, which is kind of traditional Lenormand size. So you can see how big the box is, and the cards that size. So they're pretty big. But I said I bought them to use with my grandson. So the box is a nice sturdy box with that comes out, and then you've got the book and the cards in there. So and the book is quite thick. The book is by Liz Dean and the artwork is by Bev Spate. I actually love the artwork. It's kind of folky and it's a combination of like folk and contemporary with the patterns. And I love, if you're learning Lenormand, how, I mean, it's got a few keywords which are very clear, but the actual symbol, the main element of the card is so super clear you can't really mistake it for anything else. So I'll give you a quick walkthrough. They're not in order, but there's the fox, who should be kept close. Should be kept far away, sorry, if close he will deceive. And the child with the egg, which I really love, with the beginnings and new beginnings. The anchor, hope, wealth and security. And the clouds, which I like those too. I love the colours. The colours in this deck are just so nice. I'll put them over there. And the bird with the tweety, gossipy, Twitter type bird. And the whip, which almost looks like a dream catcher. But see, it's got that pattern of looks like horseshoes in the background to me, which are a symbol of good luck. But so that might be a bit confusing. Then we've got, oh, I thought of another meaning for the whip. The clover, again, with the horseshoe for good luck, but mainly you've got the clover, and the stars, which are also lucky in the background. But the clover's nice and big and bold, so you know it's a clover. The sun, again, I suppose this one could be mistaken for birds, because it's like the sun is so big, you might not see it. But the sun radiates success and shines on all you do. So it's very clear. It's written, it is the sun. And it's sun coloured. The flowers are a gift of happiness to come. The house, happiness, prosperity and security. The moon and honour comes to you and others see your light. And there's the owl. Again, it could be a little bit confusing, but it's got the moon written on it. So the mountain, I really like the mountains. A challenge or enemy to face. The man, symbol of you or a significant person. I kind of like how it's got elements without having a body in it, things that you might see as masculine, rather than having a picture of a man. For some reason I quite like that, because anyone can put these things on and have a male persona, so whatever body they're born into. I kind of quite like that, and I like dressing up too. I want to be a furry. The lily, a flowering of your work in life. That's kind of clear. The letter brings news, look for its meaning. Like a lot of the Lenormand cards, the letter, the message has got a bird in it. That seems to be, F word, yuck. But yeah, that seems to be pretty typical. But I think it's obvious it's a letter. The key unlocks secrets and reveals success. No longer the key of the door like it used to be when I was 21. The horse, good news coming from near or far. So they've changed the rider to the horse, but it is a very clear horse. And it looks like, I like this one, it reminds me of the white horse carved into the hills in England in the chalk, that kind of way. It's got these little skinny legs, and also quite a lot like the horses, the pre-Paleolithic horses drawn in the caves in France. The heart, love and kindness everywhere. The garden, celebrations and new friendships. See, that's flowers, but I suppose it's obviously a garden as well. The fish, they're pretty clear. Money, luck and creative flow. The dog, a faithful and loyal companion. The cross, a burden to bear and maybe a spirit nearby. So yeah, we've got the cross at Calvary there, the old cemeteries, and the raven or crow, which represents can in some cultures spirits of the dead. In New Zealand, we have a little bird called a fantail, and if it flies into your home, it's supposed to be the soul of someone who died recently, or something like that. We get a lot of fantails in my house, so I think they're the souls of bugs that have died, maybe. The coffin signals endings, loss and change. Very clear coffin. The book contains a secret other cards reveal its nature. The mouse, what's eating away at you? Very cool. The path, decisions ahead, find a way ahead. And bunnies or hares. I love hares, so I like that card. The scythe, a sudden blow brings shock and sorrow. I'm not sure about all the skulls in the deck. Well, the coffin and the scythe, because I don't think scythes are always bad either. Although these lines could be reminiscent of the wheat having been chopped down. The ship, a journey, a progress and a reward for you. That's a very nice, clear ship. And the snake exudes charm and flattery, beware. Nice, clear snake in the grass. The tree, vitality and growth, bless your projects. So they're kind of real childlike, but they're also the ring, romance and a bond of love. Quite a clear way to get this into your head. The woman, symbol of you or a significant person. The tower, destiny and protection. And again, the woman hasn't got the female body, she's just got things you can wear. So that could actually be any feminine persona, you know. It doesn't have to be like a cis woman. It doesn't, you know, it could be anyone who chooses to take on those clothes and take on that identity. The tower, destiny and protection. I love towers. I have a real big tower thing, and I do like that tower. Although the crosses, I'm not so sure. They did have crosses on a lot of old medieval towers, and because they used to have a metal cross which held the brickwork together. Sometimes it was cross-shaped and sometimes it was S-shaped, but also I guess the crosses were always a symbol of protection from evil. The stork, time to travel and make changes, with his little babies there, because they often bring good news, or babies. The bear brings joy and strength, but envy too if close to you. And the star, which is a snowflake, and I like the snowflake. I think of that Oscar Wilde quote, but was it reach for the moon and even if you miss, or was it if you land in the gutter you'll be looking at the stars, something like that. So these are the cards, and then what's really awesome for me about this deck is in the book, I'll put the cards over there, every card has a fairy tale related to it. So the book gives you a bit of an introduction. So it says, the fairy tale fortune cards will lead you into an enchanted world perfect for prediction. Along with artist Bev Spate's beautiful fusion of folk imagery and contemporary pattern, what is also unique about these cards is their special link with magical objects in fairy tales. Originated in the age of the Brothers Grimm, this powerful sequence of symbols works on a creative and intuitive level, bringing together the magical aspects of divination with the magical qualities of fairy tales. And each card has its own fairy tale, and if you're into fairy tales, you'll know that all fairy tales basically, there was an original, right from when they were spoken before they were written down. they always, if you follow a particular fairy tale back, you'll find they all started from a set of basic stories which have been translated into through many different cultures through time, since time began. So folk and fairy tales are really important lessons. They were ways of teaching and sharing stories, and like I said, every fairy tale has got a root in, and that you can trace back through all cultures, right back to the beginning of time, just about. And the Brothers Grimm and Hans Christian Andersen were main people who took these tales and translated them and shared them with the world. But they do, even there's so many translations even now, but if you do follow them back, the tradition of telling stories and fairy tales is pretty incredible. And that's why, because these stories have really strong roots and strong origins in different cultures, it all comes together when you think about Jung's concept of this collective consciousness which we all share, and which is kind of how tarot and all divination works. We have this collective conscious which knows about these symbols and all this imagery and can relate to that. And I'm not going to go into too much depth here, but yeah, so just to tell you why fairy tales are so important with symbolism and the tarot and things. So it tells you how to work with the cards in the book, developing intuition and caring for the cards, and then it gives you a little brief index to the different cards and their meanings, a quick reference, and then it's got some basic spreads. And how about using a significator card, a yes or no reading, and the master method, which is kind of like the grand tableau, I suppose. That beautiful colourful page. Then you've got the card meanings and their stories. And so each one has got a fairy tale written out that goes with the story, that goes with the card, and tells you where it came from. So there's so much in this deck. I was going to say tiny deck, but it's actually quite a big deck. The three ships, the three brothers, the House of Roses, and they're all they all go back to original tales. I was reading one earlier. I think it was The Devil and His Grandmother, the Bluebird, the Foundling. We all know about foundlings. The Fox and the Magic Vine, the Bear, the Star Money. That's kind of like the story of the Little Prince. That reminds me of that one. The Tale of the Bear Prince. This is based on, well, we know it as Beauty and the Beast, which is one of my favourite ever fairy tales. And if you haven't seen a movie called Fur, if you are into fairy tales and if you love Beauty and the Beast, there's a movie called Fur. I think it's Nicole Kidman. Or is it Gwyneth? No, I think it's Nicole Kidman who stars in it. Oh, it's an amazing movie. It's not really that well known, but I highly recommend watching it. It's a beautiful and sad movie, but it's just called Fur. So yeah, if you like Beauty and the Beast and just weird offbeat things, I'll move those out of the way. The Storks and the Children, the Three Dogs, the story of Maid Maleen, sorry, not Mad Maleen, and that's the Rapunzel story, basically, which is Rapunzel's one of my archetypes in life. I just love towers. I'm so obsessed with towers, I don't know why. I know in a previous life I was in a monastery and spent a lot of time as a hermit locked away. I do that in this life too, but I really shouldn't. And the Garden of the Fairies, Treasure Mountain. So these might not have familiar names. Little Red Cap, so Little Red Riding Hood, and about the danger of straying off the path. Although I have my own version of Little Red Riding Hood, and I think it's about animus and anima, and I have my own theories about things. So I do subvert fairy tales sometimes. And the little white mouse, the glass heart, a ring for the kingdom, the alchemist's book of angels and dreams, the letter and the luck child, my own self, the lamenting lily flower, the bright sun brings it to light, the buried moon, the golden key, the fortune fish, the mermaid of Zena, King Kadiata's curse and the little gold cross. And there we are. And then you've got notes on the stories, so annotations of where they came from and everything. But I just thought I'd do you a quick run through of that because it's a really cool little set, and it wasn't expensive at all compared to many. Well, it was just, I think it was super cheap on book. I think I got it on Book Depository. But it also, if you're learning Lenormand for the first time, because these cards are quite big, you could put them up on the wall, stick them all up on the wall. They're that waterproofy, so they're great for kids who got mucky fingers or whatever. You can just wipe them clean. I've done it many times. But if you're learning, you can get blue tack and stick them up onto the wall and see them quite far away, whereas normal Lenormand size cards, you've got to, you know, go right up and peer at them. But these are so strong, I think they're a really good learning device if you want to kind of, you know, sometimes like immersion learning when you surround yourself with whatever you're trying to learn. Anyway, little review for you. I hope you enjoyed it, and now I really am going. Bye.